闇に一人立つ俺はどこから生まれきた明けない夜に一人惑う俺はいつまで叫び続けるブラックビートブラックビート運命よ果てなき戦いに振り落とブラックビート悲しみよ愛をなくした黒い線に十字架などどこにある俺は今日に飽きただけ光があれば闇がある俺は明日に走り続けるブラックビートブラックビート宿命よ夢なき荒野に赤いバラをブラックビートブラックビート憎しみよ心なくした影の戦士に十字架をやます時は凍りつく戦場の中さらば安らぎさらば愛二度とは帰れない君の場にはブラックビートブラックビート運命よ果てなき戦いにピリオドブラックビートブラックビート悲しみよ愛をなくした黒い戦士十字架を
I just realized at the end there, it wasn't showing the, there we go. Oh, so just realized at the end there, when I was preparing to change scenes, I think it cut away from the video, and I apologize. That was not my intention. Anyway, as you may have guessed, welcome to Model Kit Monday. Tonight I am building Black Beet. From Juco B Fighter. This box is already open. Let's see if I can put some stuff compressed down just enough to make it look pretty for the camera. There we go. So, there he is, the band, the mystery Black Beet on the front. On the side, you have him in his action pose. Is a two-parter with Blue Beet. I've shown that off before. The back, more action poses. Includes Super Blue Beet, because he comes with the parts for Super Blue Beet. And then this side is everything that comes in the kit. So Black Beet, his alternate accessories, his gun, the Stinger Butte, and the stuff for Super Blue Beet. Also the alternate antennas. I will not be building the stuff for Super Blue Beet tonight because I want to save that for another night because it needs to be painted up. So that will come later. Let me go ahead and transition to my other view here. And I can take that off of full screen. I'm not going to beat around the bush here. It's Black Beet. You know, it's kind of late, so I'm just going to go ahead and get into it. Yeah. Let's see. It's going to be more or less the same as Blue Beet, I think. Looks like half the parts are the same. The details are different. Parts that I did not expect to be the same are in fact the same, so that's neat. But anyway, let's see. That's the Super Blue Beet bits. Don't need those. Those are these kneecaps. This is Super Blue Beet. And this is Super Blue Beet. I can discard all of those. Discard, but put them off to the side. And we can focus on the main attraction. Black Beet, Black Beet, un mayo. God, he has such a good theme song. Lay my frames out here. So I have everything arranged in a nice orderly order. D L Since it's, you know, made of half of Blue Beet's sprues and half new ones, the ones that are original to this set are
Stream elements. King_Kita is now live. Streaming games and demos. Model kit Monday. SMP kit makes pose Black Beet.
Yes, I am live. Thank you very much. So what I was saying is just the fact that they made some new frames that had the same letters as the ones they skipped from Blue Beet, and they're smaller, and that's kind of funny. Put that's in B, C, D, E, F. I'm looking for a G. Maybe I'm not. Oh, there's G. H. I. J. K. L. M. And then these bits. Knife. I'm going to measure this before, but I'll take another one just for measure. And that's the soft antennae. And the shoulder pads are separate. 1 hand points. This is the whip part of Stinger Butte. I was curious about the origins of the word butte. As far as I was able to tell, it originates in Go Ranger, where he uses a whip-like. Aqua Ranger uses a whip-like weapon, and he calls it the Red Butte or something. Yeah, you got the Red Butte, and probably was meant to evoke a whipping sound or a swooshing sound. Butte. But people thought it was literally the term for whip, and it got applied to other tokusatsu, other media, but people who just thought it meant whip in English or something like that. So, that's that bit of trivia. Oh, I forgot my instructions. Very small set of stickers, so I'm happy about that. Mostly package painted, or factory painted rather, I should say, is the term. Just some eyes, the bits for the Beat Ingram, the dial pad, and these small gold triangles. I'm not sure where those go offhand. Yeah, this is a premium Bandai set, and it shows in the pre-painted parts. Make sure the restream is working. Why can't I comment in my own chat? Nah. Really? Just want to make sure of something. Come on. Let me catch my own damn chat.
King_Kiga. Twitch test.
Okay, it works. That's what I want to make sure of. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and get into it, and I will be watching some YouTube while I do so. So, yeah.
Megazord weapons, from the humble power sword all the way up to whatever the shark, don't call it a swordfish blade. Was, but 19 seasons back and 11 seasons deep, Power Rangers were mixing it up for the second year in a row, this time with Power Spheres. What an absolute live wire of a Zord-like gimmick this was. I've got as I could get, and I'm going to talk about them all, who used them, what they did, which ones combined, and which ones you need to Japan to get your hands on. As ever with a retro review, let's start with the toy history. The franchise as a whole was experimenting to try and find a way to sell more toys. Ginga Man / Lost Galaxy and Go-Go 5 / Lightspeed Rescue gave them a large array of releases to sell. Ginga Man was sort of a baseline as nothing combined or connected. Go-Go 5 was what could be if an interconnected system encouraged you gently to buy another but didn't force it. Time Ranger / Time Force tried a new strategy of fewer, more smartly designed and technologically advanced toys, but that were more expensive. The idea being, what if we gave them more to do with less stuff? Guess it didn't work out though, as sales were low for Time Ranger, and Ga Ranger Wild Force gave them another avenue. What if they just kept selling multiple Zords that generally combine with each other? That concept sold like hotcakes and kind of steered the direction of the franchise for the next 2 decades. But they would have been too deep in the danger to react to that success in time for the next year's time. They tried so much with Hurricane, it comes across a bit like a midlife, almost driven by a genuine interest in the 2000s didn't even want anymore. It combining Megazords, a more posable non-combining Megazord, was a giant motorized Ultra Zord like from the old days, or was it like almost impulse purchases, true Ranger Zords in that traditional sense, but filled out the lineup in a unique way? Using many designs that couldn't even be done as a regular Zord. The Karakuri balls gave them their unique spin. Power Ranger Mecha came in one Zord boxes. Now that size of box was big for selling 2 mini Zords at a time. It's not unusual, especially in more modern years of Sentai, to take inspiration from the newest cultural obsession is. I think this is their take on Pokemon / Digimon, kind of down to the Pokeballs. They're like kind of surprise egg toys. The word Karakuri can be translated as automation or hidden mechanism, trick as magic to produce a sort of sense of wonder. It basically means gimmick, mechanism, machinery, trick, contrivance, or device. The key point here is some mechanical trickery. And by modern standards, a conservative total of 12 to collect, sort of 13 if you got the stamp, or 14 if you included the cloak. I think most interesting about it is America decided not to bother with power spheres gimmick.
Space police policeman.
This with anything
Oh
out
crap.
of the norm from previous
Space
years.
police policeman. I haven't done this one ET. Space police policeman. Asterisk yet.
You better get to it. I have just dropped a tiny piece, and I'm very annoyed. Give me a minute to find it. Fell on my shoe. Tiny piece. Very important piece.
Cadmium Lion 2. Yo.
Welcome. Apologies, I've just dropped a piece, so I've just dropped a piece, so I'm looking for that right now. I'm on the ground. I don't think you can see me.
Cadmium Lion 2. We were finishing up House of the Dragon.
I don't know what that's from. That's another bottle kit piece. Maybe from my Zoid? I don't know. Well, I'm going to have a brief interlude here while I look for this piece. I'm going to regale you with the song I was playing before we to count down. Why is it not doing the thing? Because it's not full screen?
しみよ愛をなくした黒い戦士十字架わけなどどこにある俺は今日に飽きただけ光があれば闇がある俺は明日に走り続けるブラックビートブラックビート宿命よ夢なき荒野に赤いバラをブラックビートブラックビート憎しみよ心なくした影の戦士に十字架余す時は凍りつく戦場の中さらば安らぎさらば愛二度とは帰れない君の網はブラックビートブラックビート運命よ果てなき戦いにピリオドブラックビートブラックビート悲しみよ愛をなくした黒い戦士十字架
Welcome back. I still haven't found the thing. Not a great start, I know it, and it's very annoying. Because what I'm missing is it goes in the side of his helmet. It's where the antennae attach. So I kind of need that. And it disappeared into... It bounced off my foot, and now I can't find it. I'm very annoyed, and I apologize for the way this is going. I keep saying I need to clean up my workspace, and I never do, and this is what happens. Shit. Oh, I found one thing. There's that. Well, I just found a piece I lost 6 months ago, so that's something.
Cadmium Lion 2. You do not want to see my workspace right now.
I definitely fell on the floor. This basement is so fucking messy. So many things that could have gotten under, behind, everything to look. So I just found something I lost 6 months ago, so that's something. Let me get another light. I'll be right back. Flashlight. Which didn't end up inside my shoes. No, it did not. I would have felt it, but just it hurts to make sure. This is not good. Off to a resoundingly bad start.
Cadmium Lion 2. But if you are curious, I can show you.
I mean, if you want to. This shit I keep saying I'll use and I never use. That's what that one is. I don't know what that's supposed to be. That's not a good thing. Yeah, that is pretty messy. How far could it have gone? That's the question. I'm widening my search. Tear apart this whole damn basement. It's really not good.
Cadmium Lion 2. Where is Beat Fighter available?
The usual play, the series or the kits? Because the series is available.
Cadmium Lion 2. Series.
The series was subbed by, not Metallic. I'd have to check the name of the group. They, very slow burn. I've got it uploaded in Superhero Showtime, and I can send you the files later. But if you look on Nia torrents, you'll find it, as well as Kabuto, which I started watching, didn't get very far into it, didn't capture my attention the same way.
Cadmium Lion 2. Please do.
So if you go on Nia torrents, you'll find it. KRDL probably has it. I just can't remember the name of the group right now. Oh shit! There it is. I looked there a billion fucking times. It was right under my. Jesus Christ! It was right there, under my feet, where I looked. Oh my fucking god! Oh my fucking god! Let me answer your question real quick, Cadmium Lion, then I will get back to the build. This fucking piece. This little fucking thing right here. You see this? This thing. Spark. Tokusatsu.
Cadmium Lion 2. Tinny.
Franchises. Metal Heroes. Bee Fighter. Mega Beast Empire, that's who it was. They're also the ones who did Just Beyond, and the basis for the subs that the Discotech used. So yeah. Mega Beast Empire are the ones that subbed to Bee Fighter. And then Metallic fan subs, I believe, did Kabuto. Was it Metallic or was it somebody else? Was it Blue Flash in conjunction with somebody? Bee Fighter Kabuto was Common Scrub Sentai with Metallic fan subs, right? Okay. So yeah, Blue Flash of Metallic. I almost lost it again. I'm gonna put this thing in here before I lose it a third time. Anyway. Mega Beast started Bee Fighter in like 2018. They finished it in 2022. It was a long endeavor, but worth it. It was a slow burn, waiting for it to come out. A couple years, they only did like one episode or two episodes per the entire year. Just because, sometimes life gets in the way. I can't say shit. I had a project that has been working on for about that long, so that I'm only finally concluding for a year-long series. So, sometimes that's just the way that life treats you. Okay, and then piece D6 here. Oh, I just realized if that's showing my actual... That could be what's delaying my...
Jet, and then Wild Force with the Power Spheres gimmick. They'd basically done this with anything out of the norm from previous years. The Time Jet.
So let me just go ahead and talk through my observations on the kits, the frames here, since you missed my introduction. Yeah, they're all laid out alphabetically, more or less. Some of the frames are shared with Blue Beet. Those are mostly, by and large, the bigger ones, including the body here, which I would not have... It does not appear at first that Blue Beet and Black Beet have the same torso shape. They actually do. It's just the pattern on his chest emblem disguises that. So that's very clever. Different paint applications disguise the fact that it is the same shape, more or less. So that's actually very clever on Toei's part, Bandai's part back in the day. So the same torso. Shoulders are different, obviously. The legs are the same, I think, on everybody. Arms are the same on everybody. And just the way that they divided the pieces when they made Blue Beet seems conducive to make any of them, and just then have whatever specialized parts you need be on their own frames. So I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that they make G, Stag, and Rettle. The parts that were not reused from Blue Beet.
Cadmium Lion 2. What's the most expensive kit you have put together?
Dino Breaker. That was like $115. And he sits on my shelf not doing a whole lot of anything. Because he's just so big. I can't do much with him. Anyway. So the
Cadmium Lion 2. Nice.
So I was saying the parts that are not shared with Blue Beet, mostly on smaller frames, or a couple of them that are shared, but they can't be molded in the same colors, like his gun is on its own frame here. I believe it was separate on a shared frame for Blue Beet because it's with the silvers, whereas here it's had more gunmetal gray color. His beat Ingram rather than input Magnum. I don't know what an Ingram is. But yeah. So that's just some of the differences between the two kits. Really gives me hope that they will circle back eventually and do G-Stag and Rettle. The Kime Pose line is still very new. So far they've done Mega Man Eggsa, they've done Chainsaw Man, and they've done this. They haven't circled back to do anything else yet. They haven't announced what's after B-Fighter, but it's still a very new line, so we'll just see what happens. Alright, here comes his face. And SMP is no stranger to making us wait for stuff either. We are finally getting Victory Mars 4 years after the rest of Go-Go 5. So yeah, that happens sometimes. Okay, then I get my choice between N102 or H102. H1s are much sturdier. N are more flexible plastic. I'll go with H. Actually, you know what? I think the Grand Liner might have been more expensive than Geno Breaker. Recency bias is playing in here. You know, Geno Breaker's box is sitting right in front of me. But I think I paid like 150 or even 200 for Grand Liner, which is really more than I should have, but it was once in a lifetime. SMP prices for the carriers tend to be very high because SMP and many pla are just produced in smaller quantities. It's a whole thing.
Cadmium Lion 2. I have 3 Dream Mech God Gunda.
Go on. God Gundam, okay.
Cadmium Lion 2. Blade Liger. Cadmium Lion 2. And.
And.
Cadmium Lion 2. Lightning Sykes.
God Gundam, Blade Liger, and Lightning Sykes. Good choices, good choices. We have a head. Top these up with a little bit of black. Black marker. Black marker. Okay, that's the head done. So yeah, Blade Leg is a good build. As you may recall, I built it recently. So it comes recommended for me. Build the torso here. K4, J3. God Gundam. I built a God Gundam. I built the Shining Gundam. What was the God?
Cadmium Lion 2. Smexy Liger is Smexy.
That it is. See, I built the HG God Gundam sometime last year. I found it at Target randomly. I was like, sure, I'll get the God Gundam because I was watching G at the time. So that was a lucky find. I started painting it and did not finish painting it. And it's still been sitting in kind of an incomplete state in my shelf. I do that a lot. I'm like, oh, I'll paint it later. And then I start to paint it, and then I get frustrated. And then I stop painting. I don't come back to it. I should work on that. It's a bad habit.
Cadmium Lion 2. God Gundam is also a dream cosplay.
That'd be awesome. Apparently there was a Nobel Gundam cosplayer at MomoCon this year. I didn't see her myself. Actually, I might have passed her. Now that I think about it. But there's a Nobel Gundam. Might have been some other Gundam suit cosplayers. I don't know. Obviously, there was some Gundam civilians. I ran into a really damn good Char.
Cadmium Lion 2. I want to make the fins move.
You know what you should do? You should make a transformable Unicorn Gundam cosplay. I don't think anybody's ever done that. Watch me be wrong about that, but I'm not super interested.
Cadmium Lion 2. Nah.
Nah, he says.
Cadmium Lion 2. That's too much.
Yeah, so here's the difference between Blue and Black Beet. The back shell on Blue Beet has this antenna here. Black Beet does not, so it's a different piece. Just the little things. There's a shop I go to sometimes called the Gundam Place Store, and they have a human-sized, somebody's cosplay of the Unicorn Gundam in destroy mode. As they're like, it's right there in the front of the shop. That's damn cool. I think once this is presumably donated by the cosplayer, or maybe the cosplayer's an employee, I don't know. But anyway, let me get my bad nippers out for this. I don't want to use my god hands to break the sprues.
Cadmium Lion 2. Hey, if I ever manage to get Amazing Mighty done, you will see me at cons again.
Oh, you're doing Amazing Mighty, yeah. I was thinking, yeah. Well, and I hope to see you at cons regardless of whether you finish that or not, but, you know. I just want to see you. I want to see my buddies.
Megazord weapons, from the humble power sword all the way up to whatever the shark, don't call it a swordfish blade was. But 19 seasons back and 11 seasons deep, Power Rangers were mixing it up for the second year in a row, this time with Power Spheres. What an absolute live wire of a Zordline gimmick this was. I've got as many as I could get, and I'm going to talk about them all, who used them, what they did, which ones combined, and which ones you need to look to Japan to get your hands on. As ever with a retro review, let's start with the toy history. The franchise as a whole was experimenting to try and find a way to sell more toys. Gingaman / Lost Galaxy and Go-Go 5 / Lightspeed Rescue gave them a large array of releases to sell. Gingaman was sort of a baseline as nothing combined or connected. Go-Go 5 was what could be if an interconnected system encouraged you gently to buy another but didn't force it. Time Ranger / Time Force tried a new strategy of fewer, more smartly designed and technologically advanced toys, but that were more expensive. The idea being, what if we gave them more to do with less stuff? Guess it didn't work out though, as sales were low for Time Ranger, and Gow Ranger, our Wild Force, gave them another avenue. What if they just kept selling
Cadmium Lion 2.
multiple Zords that could
Oh wow,
generally
that's doing a
combine with
heckin'
each other?
echo.
That concept
shoot.
sold like
Maybe
hotcakes
my
and
mic
kind
for
of
this,
steered
sorry.
the direction of the franchise for the next 2 decades. But they would have been too deep in the design and development of Hurricaneger to react to that success in time for the next year's Sentai. They tried so much with Hurricaneger, it comes across a bit like a midlife crisis, almost driven by a genuine interest in what did the 2000s kid even want anymore? Was it combining Megazords, a more posable non-combining Megazord? Was it a giant motorized Ultrazord like from the old days? Or was it lots of little almost impulse purchases that weren't true Ranger Zords in that traditional sense, but filled out the lineup in a unique way using many designs that couldn't even be done as a regular Zord? The Karakuri balls gave them their unique spin. A lot of the Gow Ranger mecha in one sort of box. Now that size box is being utilised to selling 2 mini Zords at a time. It's unusual, especially in more modern Sentai, to take inspiration from whatever the cultural session is. I think this is their take on Pokemon / Digimon down to the Pokemon. They're like kind of surprise eggs. Karakuri can be translated as automation, hidden mechanism, trick, magic to produce a sense of what it means, mechanism, machinery, contrivance, or device. The key point here is some mechanical outburst given it on standards, a conservative total of 12, sort of 13 if you got that 40 included by clothes. I think the most interesting about it is that Mera decided not to bother power sphere. They basically anything out of normal previous years. Hurricaneger and then Wild Forces of other Zords in Japan were sold separately, thus never quite made it to America. Several of them were still included in digital releases, particularly with the light Megazords. Another way to create and for those in a familiar Zord category of what retail could understand. This showed how power spheres were activated by these powers. Dropped into a slot machine in the Zord cockpit, the ball would materialize either just like Megazord's chest cavity, or in the case of front of the show itself, they reproduced with the methodology of the spheres, sometimes the range of being to retrieve them, and other times capture them to live and what's inside the sphere? Well, like a capsule from Japan, it was a hit of surprise. At a base level, it's a small Zord that becomes a weapon. Sometimes it's only a piece of a small Zord that needs to be combined with one to do more spheres. We've seen the most in the Thunder and Sunset Star review already. Sometimes the individual weapons can even combine into a weapon. We'll get onto those shortly. So these little discs that represented each of the power spheres were used by the Rangers in the show and actually functioned with the Morphers as well. Bandai America were less interested in including these. If you wanted a full set, you would have had to have gotten the Bandai Japan releases. But yeah, I guess they're a bit whatever. Moving on to the design. So I love how direct the naming of these Power Sphere Zords are. Often, as the name suggests, they're exactly what they say on the tin. Makes it pretty simple for the Power Rangers audience, eh? Let's start with Power Sphere 01. Serpent Sword. So the dragon themed sword, initially used by the Storm, but sometimes by Thunder Megazord, effectively the power sword of the season. Power Sphere number 2, Ram Hammer. A surprisingly violent finisher for Power Rangers. This one finished off adversaries by hammering the enemy and crushing them into the ground. Great little design though. Love its opening mouth. Power Sphere number 3, Turtle Mace. So don't let the cuteness of this one fool you. This spiked mace on a chain is one tough and rough tool, and I like that it folds out into a proper turtle. Power Sphere 04, Spin Blade. We've seen this with Thunder Megazord. It's a flower axe pinwheel thing. Power Sphere 05, Lion Laser. Don't get confused with Dustin Zord. This is another tiny lion. Its spinning mane fires as a weapon. Power Sphere 06, Squid Drill. It's the first non-held weapon, Squid Drill, attached to Storm Megazord's knee, and according to Power Rangers fandom site, it was only seen and named in the Ninja Storm video game. Power Spheres 07 and 08, Mini Zord. As we saw in the Thunder Megazord video, this is a small sentient humanoid ninja that serves to combine Storm and Thunder Megazords into Thunderstorm Megazord. Power Sphere 09, Ninja Scarf. So a shield or cloak. Between Minizord and this, we were on a bit of a hiatus from what up to that point had been animal and flower themes in these strange sphere numbers. Power Sphere 10, Bee Spinner. And now we add our first insect to the mix. Generated by Samurai Star Megazord, it reels back and flings to sting and destroy. Power Sphere 11, Sting.
I'm realizing now that there was, several ripcord gimmicks in Ninja Storm right around the time Beyblade was hitting it off. Coincidence? I think not. Is Beyblade... No, Beyblade's Hasbro in the US. I think it was... Is it Takara in Japan? I don't know. You're not supposed to be down here, kitty cat. Gonna help me? I've got a helper. I've got a little helper. Yes, I do. Anyway, I was saying, several ripcord gimmicks in Ninja Storm, Hurricaneture. Right when Beyblade would have been, becoming a thing. So, yeah, very just like Ryan said, they're just very what's trendy right now.
Cadmium Lion 2. Is Black Beet supposed to be an upgrade to Blue?
No, he's a rival. He's an evil clone. Literally, his evil twin. Basically, his evil twin. They about halfway through the series, the villains are tired of losing. They hatch a new plot. They basically get an insect to get some of Takuya's blood, and they add some lightning, and they create their own bee fighter, who is Black Beet. And his mystery, he just goes by Shadow for most of the series. Whenever he is seen, he is in a trench coat and a hat that covers his face. Finally, in the last 10 episodes, he reveals that he is literally a clone of Takuya, of Kai, played by his real life twin brother. And they duke it out because only one of them can survive, basically, is the deal, and each of them wants to live. And it's really dramatic. The Shadowborg in the US only got 3 or 4 episodes.
Cadmium Lion 2. Oh snap.
Black Beet in the Japanese version is an antagonist for the entire second half of the series. It's really
Cadmium
cool.
Lion 2. Real twins.
Yep. And you've seen them before. Black Beet played Kirin Ranger in Die Ranger, wherein his brother Blue Beet played his evil mirror twin in an episode. So both of them have been heroes, and both of them have been evil clones. But yeah, the story of Blue Beet and Black Beet is incredible. I mean, one of the I haven't seen every tokusatsu out there, but like one of my top tokusatsu rivalries, I think. It's just incredible. Maybe probably up there with if you've seen Jetman, it's the rivalry between Ryu and Viram, one of the dudes. I forget his name now. But the one villain from Jetman that like will even sacrifice.
Cadmium Lion 2. Haven't seen Jet.
You need to. Jetman is peak. Gentleman, let's go Tobidase. Gentleman, Chojin Sentai. Gentleman. That's enough of my singing. Yeah, Jetman's a great show too. Another, maybe I guess just those epic rivalries. You gotta love them. Anyway, let's make sure I got this put together right. I definitely recommend Bee Fighter, as well as just for the story of Blue Beet and Black Beet. Blue Beet does get a power up. He becomes Super Blue Beet, and that's what these parts are for. That I will not be building tonight. He uses this gun. Yeah, this is the gun. Most of it. This gun, I forget what it's called. Black Beet, body, Stinger Butte, wire mode, jamming magnum, Black Beet, option hand parts. The Beet Ingram, right? Oh, I got it bad wrong. The Beet Ingram is Super Blue Beet, is the gun that turns Blue Beet into Super Blue Beet. Black Beet tried to use it. It wouldn't work for him, and Blue Beet got it and became Super. And somehow nobody else in the show ever uses it. Okay, 1 and 2. I mean, see, Bee Fighter, it's a good series. I mean, it's not without some. It drags a little bit in the middle. Some of the summer, middle of the series, summer filler is a bit goofy. There is one part, unfortunately, the first actor for Redel injured her neck I believe while filming. So she's notably absent for a few episodes. It's a lot like if in the first Kamen Rider series when Hongo suddenly stops appearing so much because Fujioka broke his leg. Her actress stops showing up. That she shows up with a huge, she's wearing really thick collars all the time suddenly to hide the fact that she's got a neck brace. And eventually they write her out. And she never shows up again. It's kind of sad because I liked her. The new girl's good, don't get me wrong. It's just nothing. And she is the one that they, always come back to. But sometimes you just wonder what could have been. But yeah, so, Beat Fighter has its issues, but I really enjoyed it overall. When it hits, it hits. So the old, I can't say old shows are better because we just had King Oger, which is fucking peak. Because when a show's good, it's good. Regardless of era.
Cadmium Lion 2. Raya Soldier kicks so much ass.
I did not like Ryu Soldier much. It just didn't do it for me. I was supposed to put these on first. Whoops. Can I get this?
Cadmium Lion 2. Why?
It just felt uninspired. Didn't like the cast much. It seemed a little too goofy when it needed to be serious, and just didn't like the tone. Didn't like the cast much. Didn't like the villains. It picked up a little bit in the middle. The Guy Soul arc was really damn good. And then they purified him, and then they fucking killed Nada off to give Ko a power up. I did not like that. That felt like a huge middle finger. Also, I didn't much like Ui. May the actress rest in peace. She wasn't bad. She played her part. I just wasn't really a fan of her character. That's not a knock against the actress, who was taken far too soon.
Cadmium Lion 2.
No, you're right, the power-up was not my favorite.
It was fucking bullshit. Like, the suit slaps, but the way they went about it was a huge insult. Listen, Rita Soldier is not bad. It just didn't do it for me, I think. I think it was the Sixth Ranger. What's his name? I didn't like him much. Didn't like his gimmick of trying to find a wife. That's a little overplayed in my book. Melto was blue. Whatever his name was. And like the Six Ranger's always got to be superior. I get that, but like he just did not like his attitude. Having a sister around was an interesting twist. I'll give him that much. His Three Soldiers is just never going to be one of my favorites. Just not for me. That's okay. It doesn't have to be. It wasn't made for me. It was made for kids in Japan. And I hope they liked it. Had some really good mecha design. I mean, I've built the mini plot of the Kishiryuo 3 Knights. That's a fun kit. I need to get the rest.
Cadmium Lion 2. Canelo.
Kanelo, yeah. He was not one of my more favorite 6, to put it lightly.
Cadmium Lion 2. His wife Thung was annoying.
Yep. I'm not going to say that, my first Sentai that I watched as it was airing was Maji Ranger, more or less.
Cadmium Lion 2. I was hoping it would be like a 2-episode gag.
Yeah, they just kept that on for way too long. So I'm not going to say, I'm sure I've got biases. My first series was Maji Ranger. I hold that to a high standard. I'm sure if I looked back, I'd be like, oh, that was kind of cringe. And I plan to rewatch it soon, actually, sometime this year, because it's almost fucking 20 years old. Jesus, I need to rewatch that. But anyway, the belt. I'm trying to paint this. Is there an orientation to this? The dots go down, okay. That's not coming off easily. That's right. I remember that bit. That is going on. It is not coming off. Not without a fight. Don't break on me now. This belt piece should have been put on before the pelvis. I heard this from Blue Beet, this being a pain. At least I know it wasn't just because I had painted that one, it's just a tight fit in general. There we go. And then I assemble that in there. It's not attaching. Get on there. There we go. Look at that sexy beast. Sexy beat. Alright, time for the arms. M1L12.
Cadmium Lion 2. How hard do you think it would be to turn the amazing mighty kit into a suited figure?
What do you mean?
Cadmium Lion 2. Like the raw.
Oh, like you mean the ones with the the fabric costumes?
Cadmium Lion 2. RAH.
That's the ones with the mesh, mesh costumes. It might be a little difficult because the plastic is sculpted in the shape of the suit.
Cadmium Lion 2. I can sew.
I know you can. I just think it'd be difficult because like the fabric, the plastic is molded in the shape of the bodysuit, and so there's not really meant to be, it's not meant to be over something. So if you were going to put a bodysuit over that, it would mess with the proportions a bit. I'd have to pull one out and take a look at it, but I feel like offhand it wouldn't really work. You could potentially cover the arms. Actually, well, I'm looking at the box for the dragon form over here right now. As you could potentially pull something off, if the fabric was thin enough, but I think you need a smaller frame to put it on. That's just my opinion.
H sphere numbers. Power Sphere 10, B spinner, and now we add our first insect to the mix. Generated by Samurai Star Megazord, it reels back and flings to sting and destroy. Power Sphere 11, Sting Blaster, a horseshoe crab themed spear blaster used by the Thunder Megazord. It slashes once it even impales and launches a monster into the air. Power Sphere 12, Spider Catcher, a spider themed grappling hook used by Samurai Star. I guess it can do the Mortal Kombat get over here thing. Power Sphere 13, Super Stamp. No, not kidding, this one was the sphere itself. Destructive stamp imprinting on the monster. Apparently it was only used once. Power Sphere 14, Starved Laser. A red starfish affixes to the Storm Megazord's knee again and drives it home into the monster, I guess destroying it with its pointiness. Power Spheres 15, 16 and 17, Ninja Firebird. You know this one from the Samurai Star review. A Firebird, in Japan it was called a Condor. It enables the Storm, Thunder and Samurai Star Megazords to combine into the Hurricane Megazord. Did you notice all of them feature after the powers of the team? We have air, earth and water themes, plus one of them is a star, several of them are insects like the Thunder Rangers. The power spheres could feel a bit random if not done well, and I'm drawing a blank on the stamp to be honest, but overall they're a nice extension to this year's design theme and language. They fit. What are the differences from the originals? Well, unfortunately the Bandai America releases were not as good as the Bandai Japan releases, and they didn't even do them all in the first place. So what didn't we get? Well, number 9, the scarf, okay, 12, the spider, don't know why, 13, the stamp, and 14, the star. Didn't make it over to the Ninja Storm toy line. There were also worse versions of others done for America. The Spin Blade, Squid Drill, the Lion Laser all had better versions over in Japan. Sometimes as simple differences as missing paint, but in the case of Lion Laser, a completely different model assembly with different materials, less paint of course, and missing clips that allow them to go in places such as on the Mammoth, and here to allow spinning using the lion head and the Storm Megazord. That, I guess, is the general theme between the Japan and America versions, lack of paint detail. The balls themselves got a slight health and safety change too. The ones with holes in are America's, the solid ones are Japan's. Aesthetically, it's the worst thing in the world, and often I forget that the holes are even there. But yeah, easy way for you to be able to tell when buying from secondhand where they came from to begin with. What's bad about them? Well, the aforementioned constraints of the American versions means they can't combine with either the Storm Megazord or the forthcoming Mammoth as effectively as their Japanese counterparts could. The reason for the latter is simply that Bandai America won't
noticed there's a hole there
anyway. We'll get onto that in the next.
So if you know some kid swallows it and chokes on it, there's a hole for air to pass through. That's interesting. Very interesting.
Versions means they can't combine with either the Storm Megazord or the forthcoming Mammoth as effectively as their Japanese counterparts could. The reason for the latter is simply that Bandai America won't do the Mammoth anyway. We'll get onto that in the next video. The balls themselves take up a lot of space. Some of the shells pop apart randomly when you're not trying to separate them. It's a simple latch that holds them closed, and generally that mechanism is a good one for staying together. My turtle maze has practically imploded, and that's from Japan. And speaking of which, I hate how in the combination with the ram hammer, you have to take a piece out and just put it aside. It's so easy to lose. No wonder you got several of those in the box. Yeah, just bad design all around. The volume of them and relative scarcity of them means even I haven't been able to get the scarf or stamp. I haven't tried excessively hard like I did with the Spider Star set. That was the set that I seemed to be waiting the longest for to become available. But yeah, as a collector, it's annoying that they're numbered because you have these random gaps in your numbering, and it's not something that's easily solved. I think it is useful having some markings on the board to remind you which one it's supposed to contain, especially when all of them are empty. But I would have rather they just used symbols to represent the swords inside. Then it wouldn't have mattered as much if you didn't get them all. They could have used the Rangers symbols like Earth, Air, Water, Thunder, Samurai Star, for example. As we mentioned in the previous video, and see it even more so with the full range, Many of the Zords are only actually usable by some of the Megazords. The ones that can only clip onto the knees are interesting choices, and some of them can't even be held at all, like the Bee Stinger, ironically one of the only ones Samurai Star even uses. What's good about them though? Well, as an idea, it was different and unique for the franchise. While the idea would evolve more into the Wild Force style of just being additional Zords as artillery weapons, the Mini Zord idea was a nice Japanese culture inspired gimmick that fit the Pokemon Digimon craze of the early 2000s, as well as the brash maximalism style of the Megazords themselves. And on the show, it meant that you weren't seeing the same finisher all the time like we did with the original Mighty Morphin Power Sword, but they also weren't rendering the Megazord you had as useless. It was just utilizing the weapon component that would surely be an easier upgrade, but obviously not always the case. I love the combos you can do with some of them as well. Ram Hammer and Turtle Mace join together to become what's called the Flail combo, where it bounces the mace on the Ram Horn spike bit and launches it at the monster. It looks great too, especially with the chain kind of dangling there. Lion Laser and Squid Drill become the Turbine combo, drilling Turbine. It creates a tornado blast with bullets. You can use the lion head to spin it. It looks colossal. Power Spheres appeared in 32 of Ninja Storm's 38 episodes, so more often than not, they were used in one way or another. The idea of turning what is traditionally handheld weapons into sentient mini-Zords is an interesting one. Their integration into the chest area of 2 of the 3 Megazords was smart, and while you can either take or leave most of them, ultimately it's another thing that makes Ninja Storm such a banger of a year. And we're still not done, but I promise we finally will be. There's one more video I've been leading up to, one more Zord that turns this season up to an 11, just because it's season 11. Mammoth, Revolver, Mammoth Sword, Ninja Storm Ultra Sword. Next time, let's go. Guys, what do you think of the power discs and spheres of Ninja Storm? Which one were you most disappointed to get in America? Let me know. Until the next time, see you later.
Okay. What's new in the world of Transformers?
Before we begin, thank you very much to the Tiny Warrior Bumblecrotch for joining the Patreon campaign. Oh, that's a fun one for people who haven't been with the channel that long and don't know the days when I was streaming the Japanese PS2 G1 game. Go look at the archives for that if you want the context, but always appreciate to see an older reference like that. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. It is a news roundup day on one of the busiest weeks of my life. So, normally on the first of the month we do the monthly Q&A video. Unfortunately, everything is really crammed together right now, and it fell on the same day as the news, so we're going to do news first, and we're going to get to the rest tomorrow. But we're going to start today with what should be our first look at a Masterpiece G Shattered Glass Optimus Prime using the Convoy 3.0 mold. I love how the Shattered Glass idea has just like, it's just become a go-to for everything at this point. I mean, and it's a cool idea. It's a classic sci-fi trope of the evil universe. And I do like the purple and dark blue a lot better on a G1 Prime than I do Nemesis colors, so it's good to see. I don't know if that's going to be what... I still don't own any version of this mold. I don't know if this is going to be what it takes for me to pull the trigger on it, but... it's cool that this is kind of like escaped. I'm also noticing it's part of the T-Spark line, which is interesting to see that included in a Masterpiece G release. Yeah, so this is apparently May or March of 2025 due for release, so usually when a leak like this happens, we'll get full information within a couple weeks. Leaks from Takara Tomy don't really take that long to get a full announcement for, so we won't be waiting on that for very long. Let's see what else we got in Masterpiece news. Now I can zoom out, because the other one was potato quality photo. Masterpiece Rhinox is in hand, and people are taking some pretty good photos of this already. It's a really impressive piece. It captures the look of Rhinox from the cartoon extremely well. You know, Rhinox toys always tend to suffer, because if they go for, you know, they either go for like toy accurate or show accurate. The show accurate never really pans out or looks all that good, but this hits a really good note. This is like spot on. The Rhino Mode 2 also looks good. It's a little polygonal, which I think is appropriate. I like the idea that the eyes can move in the head too, so he can be very expressive as a rhino. Chain guns, of course, included. Yeah, he just looks so good all the way around. All the way around. This is a really impressive masterpiece. I kind of stopped on the Masterpiece Beast War toys. I do still have the 3 Maximals that they've done. That does make Rhinox a little bit tempting now that I think about it. Very, very nice. I'm really happy with how that turned out. Now, we mentioned Project T-Spark, and we do have an update for it this week. The Adamus Machina AMT-01 Rodimus is now in a fully painted prototype form, and we get a good look at the vehicle mode finally, and it is a very lovely rendition of his IDW look. I can see where robot mode bits are. Obviously, the arms are just the sides of the car, but that's entirely accurate to how this design was depicted in IDW, so I'm not really upset on that. Looks like it's gonna be really, really good. We have another potato quality preview that puts this toy as a February release with a price tag of 30,800 yen, which boils down to, I believe, about $190 US at the moment. Who knows where the yen is going to be by the time we get to February, so we'll see how expensive that's going to be, but they are aiming for this to be like a high-quality premium product. No real surprise there. You can see it's a very fuzzy photo, but you can see a little bit of how the transformation works. So I'm really curious once we get good photos of that. Again, these leaks, more should be incoming relatively soon. We have a first in-hand look at our brand new Comic Edition 2-pack of Emerald, Zaron, and Flame. And this is the packaging itself. You see Flame's fist grabbing onto a handful of crackers. Still looking nice. There's the side shot, of course, continuing the artwork from the previous boxes. Yep, opens up book style, biography on the inside for the characters, which is always nice to see. And then the toys themselves. I'm still not sold on using Gamer Edition Megatron for Flame. There's elements of it that work, some that don't. There's a lot of retooling, doing a lot of heavy lifting in it, at least. Yep, there you see a lot of the accessories. Emerald needs quite a bit in order to actually turn Refractor's mold into a hover tank. There you get to see how much has been redone. And granted, they did redo a lot. It really is just the arms and the lower legs, and the cannon as well. Like, there's a lot of new parts. A lot of new parts to make this work, which is cool to see, don't get me wrong. And then for Emerald, do we have the same comparison shot? Yes, we do. There's definitely a lot more of Refractor still in there, but the head and torso have both been redone in order to reflect the new character. I didn't mean to make a pun there, I apologize. His vehicle mode is an oddball I really want a shot of. Can we get a shot of it, please? There we go. Yeah, because it's just a weird little tank. Because you remember, Refractor didn't really have much of a vehicle. It was just like a flying ship. It's just like a weird, like, blocky spaceship. So it's kind of fun. It, like, threw a bunch of accessories on there to bulk it out into an actual tank. So at least he's got some alt mode now. And it's tank versus tank, which is fine. I'm looking forward to this. There's two very obscure deep cut characters. Emerald Zeron was one of those, like, joke, he'll never get a toy type characters. He's got one now, and it looks okay. We'll see how it turns out in hand. If you are in Japan, you now have the opportunity to own something called a Shining Thunder Bumblebee. This is the core class Bumblebee done up in translucent plastic, which of course is terrifying to me, but still looks kind of cool. I will admit when something looks cool at the very least. The Kondasha Fanbook magazine in 2024 is going to be releasing this, so that's coming out on July 19th. If you're in Japan, if you have access to that magazine, or if you want to know which copy to buy online to get the Bumblebee, there you go. It's so crazy that in Japan magazines and books are popular enough to still warrant like full production toys as inclusions. You know, these days a magazine might have like a maze on the back. That might be it. If you bought Magmatron in Japan, guess what? You got a special box that has a far more anime-accurate depiction with some classic logos from Beast Wars the Second, or I'm sorry, Beast Wars Neo. Sorry, trying to go a little bit too fast today. But no, it just adds a little bit more anime aesthetic to the presentation. It's a slipcover. Underneath is still the same old box that came out in the U.S., but this is kind of like how they did with Armada Prime. So no big surprise, but it's a cool little inclusion if you want your Magmatron to be as complete in box as possible. Alright, San Diego Comic-Con stuff. We have a look at what Minimates is going to be producing for an exclusive, and it is a Divide and Conquer set with a cartoon-accurate Shockwave and the Rainmakers. So we are treated to Acid Storm, Ion Storm, and Nova Storm. And it's all in this cute little VHS shape that kind of mimics how the VHS cartoon boxes were back in the day. Kind of cool. Kind of a cool way of producing these. They like these VHS style releases though, the 4-character pack. And producing the Rainmakers, not a bad call. This is cool. I like this set. Nothing too big about it though, so we can move on to U2's, which we don't get to talk about ever on this channel. U2's is producing an Optimus Prime that got revealed recently. So here we go. There it is from all poses. He's got the Energon axe. It's a interesting pose. I'll give it that. You can see it's a very happy Optimus Prime. That's the U2's gimmick. If you've never seen the U2's, they smile. That's the whole thing. So yeah, it's a nice little rendition of Optimus Prime. Nothing terribly exciting. I wish the pose was a little bit better. The pose is a little bit weird, but interesting to see. If they do a Megatron that can stand opposite of it, that might be cool. Okay, so we mentioned how ridiculous it is that the Volkswagen Beetle Bumblebee is going to be one per case in an upcoming wave of normal Hot Wheels, which is absolutely stupid. It seems like a complete waste of the license. However, Mattel has now announced that there's going to be a dedicated release for Transformer-based cars. So here we have the easily available version of Bumblebee, which is going to be a custom Volkswagen Beetle. Obviously, this ain't G1 Bumblebee. This is some like roadster, hot rod, dragster type custom version of a Volkswagen. Don't look like the G1 character, which kind of defeats the point if you ask me. It's still silly to me that like the proper real Hot Wheel Bumblebee is going to be ridiculously expensive and limited in production. Really, really dumb to me. The others, on the other hand, in this wave, actually seem to make sense. Here's their Corvette as crosshairs. That makes sense. So obviously, going to the licensed movie stuff, that's pretty obvious. Hot Wheels probably already has a license for most of those cars. There's a Ford Mustang GT as Barricade. I expect this one to be probably the most popular in the arrangement, even more popular than the Bumblebee because, you know, it's accurate. We have the Bugatti, so we have Drift as well. Still really like the colors on that Bugatti for Drift. The electric blue and black always looks good. And then Stinger. Stinger gets forgotten and neglected so many times, so it's cool to actually see him included.
Cadmium Lion 2.
It's getting to be a...
I figure if I make the suit to fit the figure before the armor and then cut to parts off that interfere with the armor, it would work.
I realized I was unmuted. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it could. I'd recommend you just getting one to test it out with. I guess you'd have to get one anyway to pull off your vision. But yeah, just get one. You know, get a feel for it. So I mean, I don't think it's impossible. It's just that the proportions are going to be working against you. Well, you'd have to, you know, if you sanded down the body parts a lot, you might be able to do it to get it to work. But you've also got to, you know, there's also the accents like the kneecaps, and the ankle. Well, I guess the ankle bits you could deal with, but the kneecaps especially.
Cadmium Lion 2. Of course.
It'd be an endeavor. I mean, I believe in you, but it's gonna be a bit of a chore. Is all I'm saying, I guess. Shit, it's almost 1 a.m.
Cadmium Lion 2. Totally agree.
That's an evil Bumblebee is like an idea I thought a lot more places would have jumped on by now. But really looking forward to some of these. I'm not a Hot Wheel guy, but I might give that Mustang a go. And hopefully there's a little bit more in the future, because this is 5 of 5. So there's only 5 cars in the arrangement. Obviously they could go a lot further. Now, if you do need a die-cast Volkswagen Beetle Bumblebee in your life, Jada Toys is going to hook you up. Their Hollywood Rides 1/32nd scale toy line is going to produce a Volkswagen Beetle that is straight-up G1 Bumblebee, complete with his box art on the front. It's just like all their die-cast toys. You got a little bit of standard features like the doors opening and all that. Just a normal car? Just a normal car. If you just need a normal die-cast Bumblebee, there you go. And guess what? It's not going to be one per case. Yep, it's only going to be $12. It's going to come out at the end of the month, so look forward to that. We need to jump over to Queen Studios now because this Optimus Prime statue now exists. It is about 7.5 feet tall. And guess what? You can buy it.
Jesus
They're
Christ.
selling this thing. You know, this is the kind of thing that like a really big deal like collector shop. You like one of those collector shops that has like millions of dollars in inventory. This is the kind of thing they can produce to sit outside their store and bring people in. It's a really cool rendition, don't get me wrong. It's Bumblebee Optimus Prime, and about the biggest one available that you can actually buy with actual money. But yeah, it's insanity. It's insanity that this is actually like a product. It'll only run you back about $19,000.
Oh well, I'll start
You
saving.
got $19,000 kicking around. Here's your Optimus Prime. If you want something a little bit more affordable that you can build and display, this is from Spin Master. This is one of their 4D model kits, which is to say is a cardboard model kit that you can build yourself into a 3-dimensional character. This is apparently a fairly large Optimus Prime done in sturdy cardboard punch-out pieces. So, yeah, this is not the type of model kit for me, but it's, I was going to say a budget-friendly option, but this is like really dense style cardboard. You know, it's not like your standard stuff or like cardstock. Like, this is like heavy-duty cardboard, so it's not the most affordable paper product at $69.99. But it is fairly large, and, you know, if this is your type of model kit, then there is going to be something for you. It's just a weird item. It's just a weird item. Not for me, but someone out there is going to eat it up, I'm sure. Oh, Symbiote Studios, who we just talked about last week for their funny sludge, is now releasing a version 3 of their Grimlock. Now, honestly, I can't remember what version 1 and 2 was. I assume this is Go number 2 at the Dino mode, which I think
Cadmium Lion 2.
Remember a Dino mode of them
G2G.
before. It's just a cute little Grimlock. You know, no surprise.
Yeah, so I know it's late. Have a good night. I'll send pictures when it's done. Thanks for coming out.
Cadmium Lion 2. T.T.Y.L.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will.
I just keep making these cute little Grimlock plushies. So no big surprise there. It's fun. It's a fun little thing if you just need a cutesy Grimlock. If you want a fix of Transformers music, the original animated series soundtrack is now available through all of your favorite distributors. You've got iTunes, Spotify, and Amazon providing the original songs released in digital for the first time. These are the same ones that were on the vinyl record, so if you actually want to own these in digital format, that is now a possibility. Alright, speaking of some of the retro stuff, if you went to the 40th anniversary screening of the first few episodes of the G1 cartoon, you got to see this table read featuring some of the veteran voice actors like Peter Cullen and Frank Welker, joined by a few newer names to the franchise in order to recreate episode 1 of the original cartoon. It's a fun read. It's a really fun read. Just to get and like Frank Totoro. Oh my God, he makes a really good Starscream. I would be fine with him being like a main Starscream in anything upcoming. It's just a nice little nostalgia trip, and it's free to view on streaming platforms right now. And we're going to wrap it up with a little bit of weird San Diego Comic-Con news, because this is only vaguely Transformer, but Marvel Legends announced that Death's Head is getting a Marvel Legends. This is only tangentially Transformer-based because he is a Marvel character, and this is depicting the more recent versions of Death's Head, but the character did originally debut in the Transformers Marvel comic, and is the creation of Simon Furman, the UK comic specifically, I should mention. So it's just kind of cool that he's actually getting that. Whether he gets a Transformer-accurate release, we don't know. But it's an interesting novelty for those who are fans of the Marvel UK run. Death's Head is actually getting a little bit of weird recognition. And I'm still here waiting for my Carnage family to be completed. Where is my Carrion, Hasbro? It's all I want at this point. But that's going to do it for our news roundup. I tried to be as quick as possible this time because, frankly, I got a lot to record today. I got a lot to do for the next 3 days before the trip. And frankly, a lot of the news is just like weird little bit stuff that we don't really have to go over. But it's interesting news nonetheless. So, there you go. Thank you everyone for watching. I will see you next time.
I'm going to change over and watch some stuff that is... yeah, let's just keep going with YouTube for now.
She didn't want people to know that she had a BBL, so she did what anyone would do in that situation. Lie and say you have sickle cell anemia.
That are untrue. So for one, she is not homeless. She has an extensive criminal history, and she has apparently abandoned her 9-year-old child.
The video blew up and is still my most popular to date, which brings us to the current issue, how AI was used to copy it and then upload it to YouTube.
The problem is an epidemic of mis- and misleading content made to scam your attention, written and read by bots created by probably nefarious individuals for monetary gain alone.
Since 2005, YouTube has been the #1 source of entertainment on the internet, from simple vlogs to massive productions. But over time, things have changed. Of course, there are still content creators that genuinely care about their content and their audience, but there's now an increasing number of YouTubers that are only in it for one thing: money. With creators being able to make millions of dollars through ads and sponsorships, this has made YouTube a cash cow for a lot of people. While being able to make money on YouTube is obviously an amazing thing, some YouTubers will do anything to bring in the dough. This means clickbaiting, stealing content, and even faking entire productions. They'll create viral content no matter the cost. My name is Visual Venture, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day ahead. The art of making fake pranks If you're looking to get a million views, prank videos are a good way to do that. Since the days of prank versus prank and Vitaly, this genre of content has become one of the biggest on YouTube, which makes sense. The victims give off the best reactions when they're caught off guard, and it's entertaining to see how they react in real time. Although these videos tend to do well, they do come with one major problem for YouTubers. The reality is they can't possibly predict how people will respond to the prank, and sometimes they just don't give it an interesting enough reaction, which is why so many YouTubers have turned to another method to get the outcome they want: faking the pranks. There are a bunch of different ways that YouTubers can fake their prank videos. For starters, they can easily change the narrative of a video by editing it in a certain way. But arguably, the most successful way to fake these pranks is to hire actors. The popular prank channel Top Notch Idiots has been caught using this strategy at one point in their careers. With over 4 million subscribers and over 600 million total video views, Top Notch Idiots has been putting out viral prank videos since 2016. Throughout the years, whenever other prank channels were exposed for being fake, Top Notch Idiots would speak up to defend their own content. They would put out tweets that claimed that unlike the other channels in their niche, their videos were 100% genuine. After reading this tweet, YouTuber Pataclysm started to get a bit skeptical, so he decided to launch his own investigation. On March 13th, 2019, Pataclysm posted a video where he compiled all his research about Top Notch Idiots to uncover some interesting evidence.
The same woman showed up in one of their pranks, as well as Patty Mayo's Bounty Hunter series, which is a series that was proved to use actors.
Bounty Hunter, which Pataclysm references, is a popular YouTube series by the creator Patty Mayo. Patty is a YouTuber with over 11.2 million subscribers and is most famous for his bounty hunting videos where he chases down suspects on bail. For years, people have debated whether Patty's videos were real or fake, but it wasn't until the Oregon State Sheriff's Association came out and confirmed that they were fake did people really know for sure. Since Patty's videos are scripted, seeing the same woman in both his and Top Notch Idiots videos is suspicious. Was she hired, or was it just pure coincidence? Pataclysm decided to dig deeper.
Through research, I found portfolios of an actor and an actress that accredit their roles in Top Notch Idiots videos as past experience.
Although Pataclysm wasn't able to find that specific woman on an actor registry, he did find 2 others on IMDb and Casting 360 who claimed to be part of Top Notch Idiots projects. This still wasn't enough to confirm Pataclysm's suspicions once and for all, which is why he decided to reach out to the actors directly. And sure enough, both of them allegedly confirmed that they were hired to be in the videos. By no means am I saying that all of Top Notch Idiots pranks are fake, but it doesn't deny that actors were used at some point in their careers. Fake content is rampant in the YouTube space, and industry leader Nick Compton proves that. Nick Compton was the former chief operating officer of Jake Paul's famous YouTube content group, Team 10. The group consisted of some of social media's biggest stars like Tessa Brooks, Alyssa Violet, as well as the Dobrik twins, Lucas and Marcus. At one point, Team 10 was dominating the platform with over 2.5 million subscribers and hundreds of millions of views. The Team 10 disbanded just 4 years into their career after internal issues between the members got so intense that they split up. At the peak of the group's popularity, they were managed by Chief Operating Officer Nick Compton. He not only helped oversee the group activities, but also appeared in several videos himself. Most notably, the It's Everyday Bro music video where he rapped the iconic meme line, "England is my city."
What is that? What is that?
He did, however, step down from his role at Team 10 a year before the group officially disbanded in 2019. But while he may have left the group, his knowledge of their inner workings remained, which he ended up revealing to Shane Dawson as part of Shane's extensive 50-minute breakdown of Jake's career. The video was titled "The Enemies of Jake Paul" and was first released on October 3rd, 2018. Although Nick wasn't on screen for too long, he made one of the most shocking reveals in the entire video, which was the alleged truth behind Jake Paul and Team 10's wild viral pranks, which they became famous for.
Was some of the pranks, like the bigger, crazier pranks, were planned.
I feel like pretty much everyone that's a little bit older knows that it's all fake.
It's all over!
But that wasn't all. Nick also went on to reveal that allegedly a lot of the drama between Team 10 members was also fake, or at the very least exaggerated. In the fall of 2017, the Martinez twins, who were OG Team 10 members, posted a video called The Truth, which talked about all the drama that was happening behind the scenes with Jake, Nick, and the other members. One thing that they mentioned in the video was the fact that Jake and the rest of Team 10 destroyed their room after they announced that they were leaving the group.
Goodbye, Martinez room!
This video caused a lot of outrage from fans of the Martinez twins, especially after the twins expressed how sad they were about it in the video. But the truth behind this was that the twins weren't upset at all. Allegedly, they knew about it and were in on it from the get-go.
They did know. It wasn't even a room, it was a fake room that we built. We made them a fake room in the living room and then destroyed it.
You built it to destroy it, basically.
Yeah.
Some say that faking videos here and there is part of the YouTube game, but some YouTubers fake everything, that their entire life turns into a lie. Faking lifestyles for clout. As a lifestyle YouTuber, people watch you for one thing and one thing only, your lifestyle, especially if you're a vlogger. A lot of the time, people want to watch someone show off a lifestyle that they only dream of having. That means a luxurious lifestyle filled with expensive items, constant traveling, and lavish experiences. But to have such an extravagant life, you need to be at the top, and that's a hard thing to achieve. So the easiest way to get there? Faking it until you make it. This is exactly what this famous Korean influencer did. Songjia, also known by her YouTube username Freesia, is a content creator that became an internet sensation overnight. She appeared on Netflix's hit Korean dating show Singles Inferno, where she soon became a fan favorite for her confidence, charm, and class. During her time on the show, Jia was loved by both the cast and the viewers. She was constantly praised for her attractive looks and personality, which were only further highlighted by her fashionable style. Despite the show being filmed almost entirely on a hot island, Jia didn't let that restrict her fashion. In every episode, you can spot her wearing clothes from different designer brands like Chanel and Dior. Many fans soon started to associate Jia with the upper class, assuming that since she was wearing so many luxury items, she had to be rich. Through the show, Jia gained thousands of new fans that wanted to continue keeping up with her after Singles Inferno ended, so they flooded her social media channels with countless views and likes. Prior to joining the cast of Singles Inferno, Jia was already a relatively popular YouTuber, but the dating show shot her to new heights, taking her from a normal content creator to a viral influencer globally. With so many new eyes on her, it made Jia much more vulnerable to people who wanted to tear her down. And eventually, those people found something that would put her fame to an abrupt stop. In late January 2022, just months after Singles Inferno aired, Songjia became the internet's hottest topic, and not in a good way.
Songjia was swirled into a fake controversy this week as netizens exposed her for using fake luxury products on the show and her YouTube videos numerous times.
To many of her fans, this news felt like a betrayal. Jia, who built her entire personal brand off of being a fashionable rich girl, now seemed like a liar. The controversy particularly struck hard with her South Korean and East Asian fans. She started picking apart all of her past videos, dissecting vlogs where she was in her luxury apartment or in expensive cars to question what was real and what was just a facade. Following the scandal, Jia and her management wiped hundreds of videos off of her social media profiles, leaving up only this apology video.
최근 논란이 되고 있는 가품 사용에 대해 인정하며 모든 것을 제 잘못임을 인정합니다. 유튜브를 하고 있는 사람으로서 모든 행동에 신중하고 조심했어야 하는데.
Immediately after this video went live, Jia went off-grid to hide from the backlash. She ended up leaving the internet for months before returning after the incident was buried under newer social media controversies. Since her return to YouTube and content creation, her popularity has slowly climbed back to what it was before. Faking wealth is just one side, but pretending to be broke could possibly be even worse.
My name is Ariana, and I am homeless.
On July 23rd, 2022, Ariana posted her first video on her channel, All In with Ari, which at the time was a lot smaller than the 70,000 plus subscriber base that it has now. The video quickly blew up, getting over 2.2 million views in its first 3 months of release. The reason? Everyone wanted to hear the story of how this 32-year-old woman managed to become homeless and maybe even help her get back on her feet. Ari had the typical homeless story. She had a falling out with her family and had no one to turn to, and the constant inflation and never improving economy caused her to completely lose her financial freedom and made her lose everything. But unlike many others in the same boat, Ariana did at least have a job. She just couldn't afford a place to live in the expensive state of California where she resides. It didn't take long for Ariana to build a community of loyal subscribers that wanted to help her out as best they could, with some even offering to send her money or offer her a place to stay. Ari eventually ended up making so much money from YouTube ad revenue, her Patreon, and affiliate marketing links that she filmed her purchase of a new van from Mercedes-Benz to live in. But like with any internet sob story, Ari was met with almost as many skeptics as she had supporters. There were people that were quick to question whether or not she was truly homeless or if she was just doing this for clout. The interesting part is that it didn't take an outside person to expose Ari. She did it herself by contradicting her own words.
So she states that she moved to LA and left everything behind in Arkansas that wasn't important to her. Also in this video, she states that when she first moved out to LA, that she stayed with family, and even though it wasn't the best fit, she chose to be homeless and live in her car.
Ari openly admitted in her video that she wasn't homeless due to consequence, but rather by choice. She decided to live in her car because she didn't want to be with her family, even though the option to live in a real home is available to her. With every episode, Ari's story got messier and messier, and soon she created such a complex web of lies that she couldn't keep track of, which made it easy for Scott Schaefer to figure out the truth.
So for one, she is not homeless. She has an extensive criminal history, and she has apparently abandoned her 9-year-old child.
During one of Ari's videos, Ari talked about how she had to pack up her things and leave Arkansas to get away from an abusive ex-partner. But Scott began to point out some inconsistencies with what she was saying.
She talks about exactly where she is living in Ventura, and now she's living in LA County. She talks about exactly where she is living. If she was trying to get away from an abusive person like she claims in this video, why would she put all this out here that this guy can very easily find where she lives now?
His investigation found out that she lied about her entire identity.
This is her. I'm not doxing her. This is all public information. Anyone can look this up. But her real name is Ronnie Ann Spur.
According to her criminal record, Ari, aka Ronnie, has charges for theft of property as well as failure to show up in court. To dive even deeper into his investigation, Scott found evidence that Ari had a dark past that she's never mentioned.
But the defendant got into an altercation with her mother and was forced to leave their home. You can see that the father is actually claiming that the mother, Ronnie, or Ari, has actually been hospitalized for mental issues in the past.
Due to her mistreatment of her child, Ronnie ended up losing the custody battle between her and the father. With Ari's true self coming to light, many people stopped supporting her, and she has since discontinued her video uploads. Some people don't just fake finances. Other YouTubers are willing to lie about serious medical conditions to get your click. The epidemic of fake illnesses. Fake illnesses has become a growing trend on social media as people realize they can build a successful career by garnering sympathy. Yet, the public eventually figures out who's really sick and who's just seeking views. Daisy Marquez is a well-known beauty and fashion influencer with over 1.5 million subscribers on YouTube. And like most content creators, she fell into the habit of uploading pretty consistently. But when Daisy suddenly had to take a break from making videos, instead of telling her fans the truth, she decided to make up a sadder, more socially acceptable story.
After that, he was like, you're gonna have to get a blood transfusion because of the sickle cell anemia, and I was like, oh, okay.
Ever since the release of that video a few years ago, Daisy had continued the act on not just her YouTube, but other social channels. goals. She consistently explained that her sickle cell anemia is the reason why she's constantly sick or taking breaks. After a falling out, one of Daisy's former friends left a lengthy comment on Instagram exposing an unnamed individual for faking sickle cell anemia. Considering that she was tied to Daisy for a long time, many people started to connect the dots.
Joel, I literally used to have a friend who used to lie 24/7 and even lied about having sickle cell anemia, and that was a reason she was MIA for a while, but she really got a BBL, a Brazilian bullet.
But even with this comment, no one could confirm whether or not it was the truth. When two friends cut each other off, there could be hostility, and for all anyone knows, they could have just been saying this to make Daisy look bad. It took a few years, but Daisy eventually spoke on these accusations. During an episode of her podcast, Daisy Diaries, she actually came clean. She tells her viewers that her sickle cell anemia diagnosis from 2018 was a lie. Although it's unconfirmed the actual reason behind her admitting to this, some on the internet speculate that it's because of her sister Destiny. Daisy and Destiny have been engaged in an online feud for a while now, and Destiny allegedly threatened to expose Daisy after the YouTuber had released a video revealing private information about her. In response, Daisy and her legal team actually sent Destiny a cease and desist letter requesting for her to cease all defamatory statements against Daisy.
People are saying that the only reason that she's coming out and admitting this is because she's scared that her sister is going to expose her.
It's clear that there's no limit to how far some of these creators are willing to go to get what they want. In fact, some of them have even started to use certain tools to help them reach their goals too. On the other side of the coin, AI has also helped wannabe creators not only make videos but also steal them.
The video blew up and is still my most popular to date, which brings us to the current issue, how AI was used to copy it and then upload it to YouTube.
Ubisoft opened an entirely new can of worms when he uploaded this video titled "Exposing a Content Thief Stealing Videos with AI." This video talks about how his most popular video with over 2.2 million views was straight up copied and pasted to another channel, but with the use of AI. His original video titled "Why the Biggest Cheater in Mario Kart 64 Wasn't Caught" was uploaded 3 years ago on March 10th, 2021. But just a few months ago, in September of 2023, another video with almost the exact same title and a similar thumbnail was posted to a channel called Warpless. But it wasn't only the title and thumbnail that was copied, his entire video's contents were too. Upon clicking the video, Ubisoft found that the other video script was just like his, except reworded slightly.
Right away, you can see that something smells very fishy. The sentences have the same structure, but the last part of the sentence is very revealing, as the AI video asked the viewer to engage in the same game as I did.
The easiest way to identify that an AI tool has been used in this case is the fact that the copycat video keeps the same exact content as the original, just using synonyms. None of the actual content is changed at all. But Ubisoft keeps going and finds even more evidence that his video has been straight up ripped off of this AI content thief.
It takes the first half of the section and reverses the order of the difficulties I listed while altering the words used, but the second half of the sentence is incredibly similar.
Ubisoft's case is not an exception. It's the norm in today's YouTube meta.
I watched through it and it was basically the same video, but it was different. The visuals were all crappy stock footage, the writing was stilted, and it felt like he was just reading Wikipedia.
In fact, I have a couple YouTube friends who are going through the same thing, but even their voices are being AI'd. It's crazy. But aside from copying original content, there's also another category of AI-generated videos on YouTube that's extremely damaging. Ones that spread misinformation due to poorly done AI-dependent research.
The problem is an epidemic of mis- and misleading content made to scam your attention, written and read by bots created by probably nefarious individuals for monetary gain alone.
Renowned science YouTuber Kyle Hill touched on an issue that's been plaguing the science community on the platform for the past few months: the sudden influx of AI-generated content. Putting the whole lack of human effort thing aside, the main issue that he brought up was that these videos are not well researched. In fact, because a majority of these new AI cash cow channels are focused on only making money, they don't really care about the content that they put out. They don't care if their videos are based on facts or just made up. As long as it gets the views, they'll keep putting out these videos.
It's words and phrases and images that technically go together just enough to be palatable, but it's you know?
This phenomenon of AI-generated cash cow content has two major problems. For starters, it completely stifles the creativity that's allowed to thrive on YouTube. If this becomes the new norm, it pushes out other creators that are focused on creating high-quality original videos, because these videos take only hours, if not minutes, to make. And these channels can make not just daily uploads, but upwards of 3 uploads a day. No actual human creator can keep up with the rate at which AI can produce content, which is not only demoralizing but also exhausting to keep up with. I mean, I literally spend almost 12 hours a day, 7 days a week just to finish one video every 2 weeks for you guys. The second major issue is that these videos are practically nonsensical. The facts that are being claimed are only verified by AI, which at this point in time isn't completely accurate. There's still many instances where AI can get their information wrong, and if that's the only source these channels are going off of, then they can be putting out misinformation. All this, of course, is concerning, but probably the worst thing about the rise of fake videos is what's next: the disturbing rise of deepfakes. When you're trying to sell someone something, you need to think of out-of-the-box methods to lock them in as customers, which is why many companies nowadays have started to use YouTubers to do it, not just in the way that you're thinking.
Watching this video, you're one of the 10,000 lucky people who'll get an iPhone 15 Pro for just $2. I'm Mr. Beast, and I'm doing the world's largest iPhone 15 giveaway. Click the link below to claim yours now.
With deepfake ads, companies get the benefits of having famous ambassadors without the cost. Big YouTubers like Mr. Beast are the main victims of this.
We now have the ability to make people look like other people. Like, I could be Johnny, or I could be Nick the studio manager. Look, I'm Nick the studio manager right now. I could also be Tom the music composer.
But not only is this a problem to the person whose likeness has been stolen, it's also a problem to anyone who can possibly fall for these. Companies like to use figures like Mr. Beast to try and trick people into clicking their ads. Not to mention, there's a possibility that these links in the ads don't lead to product pages, but are phishing links designed to steal your information. Deepfake ads are running rampant on social media, particularly on YouTube. And the worst part is that there isn't much anyone can do to stop it. Laws have not kept pace with the rapid advancement of AI, meaning that legal repercussions are low, especially for any creator that may not have the same publicity, platform, or funding as Mr. Beast does to hire a legal team. But not only can you find deepfake influencers on YouTube, you can find hundreds of videos advertising websites and apps where you can make your own deepfakes. In April of 2024, Google had to remove 11 channels with over 120 videos advertising deepfake platforms with the most disgusting promotional tactics. To get people to download their app, these companies were going on YouTube and explaining that their app could remove the clothes of any woman that you had a picture of. One of the channels, which in itself was ironically AI generated, promoted a Telegram bot that could undress women in seconds. This app had over 500,000 downloads before being taken down. Other apps in similar categories had over 10 million downloads. YouTube seems to be working hard to regulate AI generated content, but reviews from YouTube staff simply can't happen as quickly as AI can create. So I encourage you guys to stay alert. Don't believe everything you see on the internet. Challenge the narrative, do your research, and you might discover that the truth is much deeper than what's on the surface. Visual Venture. Wait, before you go, make sure you guys click subscribe here and then click this playlist to watch more dark internet documentaries, because our goal is 700,000 subscribers by the end of 2024. Thank you guys for everything. Peace.
Toes are 1. Yeah.
it's official. The genie is being put back in the bottle. Since its introduction in 2021, the Disney Genie service has received a less than magical reception from guests and critics alike. Not only did it replace the immensely popular FastPass system, which was provided free of charge with admission to Disneyland and Walt Disney World, the new system introduced new quirks, such as requiring guests to wake up and purchase it at 7 AM on the day of their visit to get the most out of their paid upcharge in the middle of their vacation. Disney announced earlier this week that Genie Plus would be replaced with a brand new service known as Lightning Lane Multipass. And whilst people are rejoicing that Genie Plus is gone, we want to explore whether this is a positive change for guests or simply a rebrand of a service that nobody wants. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty, I wanted to clarify where Lightning Lane originally came from. Now, Lightning Lane is the replacement for FastPass, but the distribution system for these was predominantly through Genie Plus. If you wanted to get into a Lightning Lane entrance, you either needed to get one via Genie Plus or purchase one a la carte, which was called an individual Lightning Lane. With these new changes, the a la carte aspect isn't really receiving any changes. There are certain attractions such as Rise of the Resistance, which you simply can't get passes for unless you've purchased them. But with that out of the way, let's go into what's changing as the system transitions from Genie Plus to Lightning Lane Multipass. Now, the first thing to note is that these changes are happening at both Disneyland and Walt Disney World. And despite having the exact same name, the perks and options available to guests are different between resorts for better and worse. For example, the big benefit being advertised is the ability to pre-plan up to 3 experiences in one theme park up to 7 days in advance. But that's only if you're staying on site at Walt Disney World. For every other guest, it's up to 3 days prior. But here's the thing. This option isn't available at Disneyland and is only available at Walt Disney World. Straight out of the gate, we've got some potential confusion. Now, granted, these two resorts have very different requirements when catering to their guests, as in the simplest terms, Disneyland is an attraction, whilst Walt Disney World is a destination. But why call it the same thing across the two properties if they're fundamentally different products? Pre-pandemic, Disneyland had FastPass, whilst Walt Disney World had FastPass Plus. Whilst the names were similar, it was obvious that FastPass Plus was an expansion on the original. I feel sorry for guests that simply look up Lightning Lane Multipass, get the information they need, and then find out closer to the date that the information they had was completely wrong. Because, oops, that was for Disneyland. You're visiting Disney World, and Lightning Lane Multipass, it works differently here. Despite this though, I will admit that the ability to pre-plan attractions is a much welcome change. Moving on, Lightning Lane Multipass at Disneyland allows you to secure the next available time for experiences, whilst Walt Disney World allows you to select an arrival window for experiences. It's a little bit confusing and these sound similar, but there are some important differences. What this means is that at Disneyland, you won't be able to specify a later time that you want to experience an attraction, and will only be able to accept what the system offers you. Even if a Lightning Lane is offered for 4 PM, you can't specify that you instead want to experience it at 8 PM, even though that's later than the offered time. However, at Walt Disney World, you can specify an arrival window for any available time, not just the next one. The likely reason for this change is that since the introduction of Genie Plus at Walt Disney World, people aren't booking as many dining reservations as Disney would like. Considering that Genie Plus is essentially luck of the draw as to what you're offered, how can you be able to trust that you'll be able to make a dining reservation? You also don't want to miss out on your most anticipated attractions just because you also had a dining reservation, which requires you to pay more on your already expensive vacation. And on top of all of that, most of the restaurants around Disneyland and Walt Disney World have fees for missed reservations. These start at $10 per person, but go as high as $100 for some of Disney's more premium establishments. The ability to pre-book and designate time slots at Walt Disney World allows guests to have more confidence in those reservations. So it's a win for the guests and a win for Disney. Though, for Disneyland guests, you're just gonna have to be comfortable with the current ways. Moving down the list of benefits, both resorts will continue to get access to PhotoPass lenses, which are essentially Disney's version of Snapchat filters. We've been to both Disneyland and Walt Disney World multiple times since Genie launched and have literally never used these. But at least they're not taking them away, which is nice, I guess. Expanding on PhotoPass, Disneyland Resort guests will get PhotoPass downloads from the day of their visit. Oddly enough, this isn't included at Walt Disney World, but what is included is attraction photo downloads, which, to make matters even more confusing, is becoming available to all guests outside of MultiPass at Disneyland, free with admission. I imagine this is a way in which they can just get all of their ride photos all over Instagram, which is a smart call. Now, Disney has provided plenty of infographics to try and break down what is actually coming to both different resorts, but one thing that had us stumped was the fact that it said that Lightning Lane Multipass was available as a ticket add-on at Disneyland, but not Walt Disney World. At first glance, I genuinely had no idea what this meant. Now, looking into it, my understanding is that at Disneyland, you're able to buy Lightning Lane Multipass along with your admission ticket to lump them all together in a single purchase. Now, going onto the Disneyland website and doing a mock purchase, this was certainly the case for Genie Plus and will likely remain the same for Lightning Lane Multipass. The likely reason as to why you can't do this over at Walt Disney World is due to the way that purchasing Multipark will work at that resort. You need to select your first 3 pre-booked attractions and times, as well as any single pass selections, before you pay. Also, something to note is that Walt Disney World's prices fluctuate based on what parks you're visiting and guest demand. With the current Genie Plus system, this can range from $15 to $35 US per person. And if Multipass ends up being more popular because of pre-booked allocations, then it's likely to steadily increase over time. This is just one of the many caveats associated with pre-booking. Other examples include the fact that you need to make the same multipass selections for everyone in your party at the time of booking, though you are able to go back and modify this for individuals once the purchase has been made. Likewise, similar to the old FastPass Plus system, attractions are separated into tiers with limitations on how many attractions can be pre-booked within the same tier. For example, at Epcot, Frozen Ever After, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, and Soaring Around the World are all within the same tier, and you can only choose one of them. If you want to pre-book both Frozen and Remy, you're out of luck. That's just not how the system works. You have to pick one. The other attractions at Epcot do not have this same limitation, but it does mean that you have to kind of pick and choose what you want to do. The other limitation is that pre-booking is not available for international guests. Even if you are staying on site, you will need to make your selections upon arrival into the United States. This is frankly pathetic. Whilst the majority of Walt Disney World's guests are domestic travelers, international travelers make up a non-insignificant portion of the resort's attendees, estimated to be around 20%. With the removal of Magical Express, the removal of complimentary and discounted Magic Bands, the sheer cost associated with traveling to Orlando as an international guest, and now the inability to pre-book or purchase multipass whilst overseas, Walt Disney World is abandoning some of its most committed fans. As Australians, to even justify a trip over to Walt Disney World, we need to stay, at minimum, roughly 10 days. The average cost of airline tickets from Sydney to Orlando averages around $2,000 per person, or $1,300 US. Most Australian families will save for years, sometimes decades, just to afford the sheer immense cost associated. And when we go hard. We want to get everything done, experience all of the rides, eat at all of the restaurants, and purchase all of the souvenirs because we know that it's going to be a long time before we come back, if ever, for some families. Whilst purchasing upcharges is annoying and feels dirty for international guests, it's almost necessary, because we just can't come back next season if we don't get on the rides we want. Disney offers exclusive ticket options to their international guests, including up to 14 days of admission, knowing that we have to justify that trip. That's something not available to local guests. Why offer that benefit and completely strip away a different one? Especially when FastPass Plus was bookable from anywhere in the world. If Disney isn't making the effort to welcome and accommodate international guests, then why should we make the effort to visit Walt Disney World? There are other resorts in Orlando, some which allow you to purchase a much simpler skip the line system online right now. And it's even included for free with some of their resorts. They even offer transportation for your hotel. It's a paid extra, sure, but it's available as a simple add-on with your vacation package. I know some people might say it's not a big deal, but it is for us. Visiting Disney Park shouldn't require navigating logistical challenges that have only arisen in the past 5 years just so that Disney can make some more money. The changes affecting international visitors feels like a huge letdown. While there are ways to work around these hurdles, that just shouldn't be net.
So what's actually different? The head's different, the shoulders are different, the right arm's different, the chest plate is different. That might be it. I thought they were a lot different than that. Yeah, so just the colors are different in some places, but for the most part it's just the, yeah. So the shoulders, shoulder pads being different, the fact that he has the stinger butte there, the back's different. That's it. Wow. I did not realize he was so not different. Johnny Magnum, the long stinger butte, wire butte. Not a fan of the fact that you only get one set of eyes on one face. Where did those bits go?
necessary. Disney.
I cannot figure out where it goes. Oh, on the foot. Okay. Let me cut out the rest of the hands.
Disney is offering a luxury product, but the experience is becoming as incongruous as Walmart selling diamond rings. So the big question is, why the change? As mentioned before, at Walt Disney World, it helps out a lot with restaurant reservations and allows guests to have more confidence in their planning. Likewise, since the removal of park reservations, Disney has been desperate to know guests' whereabouts and park plans. This data allows them to resource their parks accordingly to accommodate any unexpected surges in both directions. If the park is busy, they can add on more staff, and likewise, if it's quiet, they can ask some staff to stay home. Lightning Lane Multipass gives Disney that data back, with the additional caveat that guests are essentially paying the company for their own consumer data. This is not a goodwill gesture to guests due to the poor reception of Genie Plus. It's a calculated and informed decision that allows the company to resource their parks accordingly. And really, for Disneyland, it's just a rebrand. Very little is changing over there. As an international, I'm disappointed. For their sake, I hope they figure out a solution soon, but I'm sure there will be plenty of people who will welcome the change and be able to pre-book a Walt Disney World, even if it is only up to 7 days in advance. Whilst I was excited at first for the disappearance of Genie Plus, like many people, compared to FastPass and FastPass Plus, this just feels like one step forward, 2 steps back. For review time, I'm Dom. Thanks for watching.
This could really use benefit from a swivel there. And you can do the long version, the wire mode. He's choking him. And this one leg is not want to stay attached. Okay, I mean you get the idea. He's got the jamming magnum. He's got his various hands. His stinger Butte only has those 3 configurations. That's what we're going to call it for tonight, folks. I will build the armor for Super Blue Beet another time. Maybe Wednesday. I might do a We Build Wednesday. Who knows? But until I do so, thank you for coming out. Have a great night, and I will see you next time.